It's the middle of August, prime time for Buoy 10 salmon fishing near the mouth of the Columbia River. We've launched at Astoria, hoping to catch the incoming tide on the cooler Washington side of the river.
We're fishing suspended. It's 51 feet deep right here. So we try to cover as many water columns as we can. And from the back, we go the deepest. From the front, we go the shallowest. And also, we're fishing 7 rods at a 24-foot boat. So it's a good way to kind of spread out the pattern and make sure we're not tangling with one another.
I'm going to try to help explain to Carissa how to do this, because it's kind of a, something you want to do and be efficient at so that you don't get a lot of tangles. There's a lot of spinning gear on this. As you can see, we got a flasher, spinner, everything rotates. So the best way to do this is generally what I do is I'll have the weight in my hand, that way it doesn't tangle anybody's head. I have the flasher in my other hand and I have my spinner. So I'm just going to take my spinner and I set it in the water. I drop my flasher, I just take the weight and I let it swing away from the boat. And as the weight swings away from the boat, all your gear should be straight. Then it's important to look at your gear, make sure your spinner's spinning, and make sure nothing's tangled up. Then I like to reel it up to the top, just like this. Look at your line counter, make sure it says 0, because Jason said 25 feet. So we're gonna take it like this, and we're not just gonna let it free spool. You're gonna give it kind of nice, easy pulls out, because again, all that gear's spinning. You don't want it to get tangled. You want to point it more towards the bow, so you don't get tangled in the lines behind you. Nice and slow. And you get this thing to 25 feet. Click it into gear, and you're ready to go. We'll put it in the rod holder, and we're gonna watch it go boom, boom, and then she's gonna get a fish. So you can see your flasher is thumping, just like that, right? So when you get a bite, it's gonna go, really let it eat it, let that drag go out. And what you're gonna wanna do is, that's a Folby rod holder. So you grab the rod from the front and the back, and you pick up from the front, okay? And that'll release the rod holder. The rod holder puts itself in a bind when the rods are in a downward position, so that way the rod doesn't pop out. So to get it out, you have to lift from the front and pop it out. And when you do, the main thing is keep tension on the fish. So don't lift the rod up and then point it directly back, because you're going to give that slack, right? And at the first few moments of the fight, that's important. So pick the rod up out of there and just make sure you keep it tight and keep tension, and basically your job is to reel and hold on. So and have fun, and we'll help you do the rest. All right?
Sounds good.
All right.
What kind of flavors are we using?
Well, we're using a couple different ones. Your side of the boat, we're going to be using the garlic bait sauce, and then we're on this side, we're going to be using the Salmon Slammer. I'll tell you what,
they're both garlic based.
Yeah, they're both garlic based. Garlic's been hot the last couple of years down here. Normally I don't use garlic till midday, but right from the get-go out here.
Garlic and anise both, when I talk to some biologists, there's something about the shape of the molecule that binds really well to a fish's receptors, olfactory receptors. And that's, why anise, why garlic? But they've been just standbys for years, and a lot of times it's either anise or garlic or anise. But we don't know why, but if it works, you just stay with it.
Here, first thing in the morning, we're kind of at the tail end of the outgo, and it should start slacking off here shortly, and the tide will start rolling in. And seen a couple fish caught already, so there's obviously some fish here, and hopefully it'll just improve as the tide rolls in. You'll see a little ball of anchovies on the screen down there. As the day goes on, you'll see there's little smatterings of them everywhere. That's kind of the predominant bait in the estuary here. So fish like them too. Water temperature over here is 66. We're on the Washington side. Over on the Oregon side, it seems like every day when I run over there, it's been running right around 70 degrees. So it's kind of nice to be able to go to this side and get away from that hotter water. And it seems like the fish bite a little better in cooler water. They're more prone to hit, and they seem like they fight a little harder. So
yeah, Jason was talking about water temp, and one thing I've gotten to where I do a lot is I'll chase kind of a water temp, and I'm looking for really a 68 degree or less over here. With the Columbia being so warm and the ocean moving in, you'll find these currents move and kind of water temperatures moving. So if you get on that, you're not getting bit, and you notice that you're in that warmer water, it's good to maybe chase a little water temp, get a little closer to the ocean if the tide's pushing in, or things like that, and just try to find those water temps. So just kind of a little tip for the trade.
This wasn't working quite right, and there's just a little bit of weed on the spinner, and that'll stop you from getting a bite. And then every time I come in, I put a little bit of scent on these. Do it on the shaft, the hook, and then right on the spinner blade.
Coming through.
Yeah,
First fish of the day. Let's see what we have here.
Coho. Hang on, I'll tell you, buddy. Wild. Gotta go back. Good thing it came unhooked. Let's just pull this out here and we'll let it go. Got a wild coho. It's got an adipose fin attached to it. Beautiful fish, but we're just gonna go ahead and get this fish back on its merry way. Real quick, fast, in a hurry. Let it do its thing. Bye-bye.
Good job, buddy.
Welcome back to the Columbia River. I'm Justin Wolf. Phil Perrone has our first hookup of the morning on a spinner, a wild coho that must be released.
Bye-bye.
Good job, buddy.
Nice.
Broke
the ice.
A little bit of garlic scent.
Yeah, just stuck a little bit of garlic scent right on the tube of that spinner.
And boom.
Woof. This is what we got that fish on right here. This is a Mulkey 3.5 blade copper pink, right? And this is one I built at home. And you can see this fish actually bent this wire. And so you want to make sure when you put them back out that you take the time, you know, you may have to get a couple pairs of pliers, but you want that wire to be back to straight so that spinner runs straight down itself. That way it gives the blade the opportunity to twirl and the vibration of the wire and everything to work together. So this thing looks good to go. We'll probably put a little bit more garlic sauce right back on it.
It feels like a little one. It's got a nice hook.
Yeah, that's a Chinook. Well, that's your Chinook.
Woohoo!
Done deal. That's a nice little chrome hatchery Chinook. We'll peel him out of the net here.
You going back in, Jason? Yep.
Yeah, nice little chrome hatchery Chinook from Mr. Steve. Put first one in the box.
That's a spinner. I just put the Salmon Slammer on. I'm going to check the leader and reapply some more scent. So the Salmon Slammer's got 5 different fish oils, one of them, and then plus the garlic to it. So it's just a blend of herring, sardine, anchovy, and a couple other oils. But the main ingredient is the garlic. I think in this warmer water, the garlic really lights them up.
So down here at Astoria, the limit is 1 Chinook and 1 hatchery coho. If you get 1 Chinook in the boat, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to rack your rod. It's a rule called party fishing. You're able to continue fishing until the boat limit is reached, which is 1 per person.
Is that net, Steve?
So what we're doing here is we got 4 spinners on the bow, and then we got 3 spin fish out the back. Kind of give them a, you know, little taste of everything. And we were just talking about the spin fish and the bite and so on and so forth, and my rod torch. So we're about to figure out what I got on the other end of this stick here in just a second. There you go. Something good about being 6'10" is you can kind of fight the fish around or over anyone.
Kind of scrapping around like a coho.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
Laying down.
Oh, little jack.
Spunky little feller.
Oh, actually, it might be easier to.
Oh God, he's still on there. I thought you got him off there. Yeah. He's gonna hook in the water. Nah, small jack.
Back up, Jared.
I didn't want to hit that weight, but you were adjusting that weight.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll hook them with that top hook, and the back hook swings around and nails that gill plate.
Well, we released that fish. It's a small jack, and there's a lot of good fish in the system, so might as well just kick that one back, keep fishing. And we're not sure if it was legal, sub-legal, so rather than take the time to check it, we'll just get them back in the water. And like I said, this fish came on a spin fish, and I just added Salmon Slammer to the nose of that spin fish. That little porthole in the front is a great place to add scent when you pull it in to check your bait for weeds or whatnot. So I just loaded up a Salmon Slammer, put it back down, and rod folded. So we're going to see if we can do that one more time, or maybe 7. So this is what I'm doing. This is a custom spin fish a friend of mine painted for me, just testing out new colors. Cool part of my job. So for next year's lineup. But so I'm gonna take this Salmon Slammer Super Gel, which is a great product to put in this vent hole for this spin fish. You can see I'll put it down in there, and I like to almost like pack it like a bearing. So I like to rub it just like that, pack it just like you're packing a bearing, and really pack it in that nose. So now as that goes in the water, that scent's gonna not only come out and over this, it's gonna push its way through that tuna and come out these scent holes here. So great way to do that. Just put it right back out and you're good to go. That's a 2.5 spin fish. So my favorite two sizes to fish, especially behind the Pro Trolls, are the 2.5 and 3 inch. 2 does work well, but out here in this bigger water, I just want a little bit bigger of a profile. So I went with the 2.5 and the 3s.
We're near the mouth of the Columbia River, where the key for salmon fishing is understanding the tide.
Fish on.
All right, well, the tide's just starting to push in, so we ran down here out of Chinook, and we're gonna troll around and bob around in here for a little bit and see what materializes. We're gonna run the same depths and just run the same program. We ran out here a little closer to the ocean to catch the tide as it's pushing in. Just hopefully we'll be ahead of the game and get the fish as they're coming. I'm already marking quite a few, so it should be a decent move.
This is better fish.
That's a good one.
How long you done it?
That's a good one.
Well, you just rod out here when you get a chance.
Yeah. That same copper pink spinner there, Phil.
Yep.
We just loaded her up, I think, with some more Salmon Slammer, and the Salmon slammed it. Imagine that. It's living up to its name.
Good shooting, Tex. Oh, better fish. Tully.
Yeah.
What is it? Look at Tully.
Let's see. No, it ain't.
Oh, I was just asking if it's Chile. I wasn't sure, you know what I mean? It's got a... it's so hard to tell sometimes between spots and teeth and you know, fins and different stuff. So it's always good to get, you know, other judgment. And, you know, for the net first thing, yeah, it looked kind of like a Thule, but once you lay it on the deck, and it's like, oh, no, it's not a Thule.
A Thule, they classify on this river, it's a fish that spawns in the lower river, and I think they're predominantly raised for commercial harvest out in the ocean. Once they get in fresh water, the meat turns really white really fast, and they're just not the best table fare, but they're fun to catch regardless. Holes, hurry up, guys.
You do your thing, I'll run the boat. Just fight the fish.
This fish feels heavy. This one was on the deck.
Oh, yeah, that one was right on the deck. Hit the deck, come up 2 cranks.
When I was talking to those guys, I told them it's on the deck, and that means it's on the bottom. A few cranks off the bottom, just enough to allow the Pro Troll to work. Oh, geez.
Right.
Big old Thule.
Yeah. Big Thule, big dark brown one. That one's for sure a Thule. You can see that dark brown, right? The other one I net a little bit underwater, so. Still got sea lights on too. Yeah. We've had, I think Phil's had 3 bites, all on copper pink. Put Jason's rod out with a copper pink spinner, and it got folded. And so we're going to change this bow rod to a copper pink. So we have a copper pink in the bow, copper pink in the middle, and a copper pink out the back. Seems to be what they're keying in on. So we're going to give it to them at all levels and see if we can't get Chris a fish.
It's about 10 o'clock. Tide's kind of coming in at a pretty good rate now. We ran back up to the bridge to hold in the tide here, and let the fish come to us and see what happens. Should be a pretty good part of the tide though. We should start getting them.
We were just talking about the Hildebrandt Mulkey blades that we're using. This happens to be a Hildebrandt blade, which is a Colorado style blade. A little different, but again, it's that copper pink color. That one's been firing off most consistent by far today.
Oh, that's good. Whoa.
It's there.
That's it, Andy.
Real important too, let that lead out, get that in your hand so it doesn't hit anybody in the head. Fish in the box. Oh, that's a gorgeous fish right there. Yeah, I gotta get back in the water when you're getting bit, you know. It's great to have the photos and everything else, but you want to turn and burn while these fish are pushing through, so want to get these rods back out in the water and keep up the good mojo we've got so far. So you can see the two different styles of blades we're using today. One is a Mulkey 3.5 blade, the other one's a Hildebrandt 3.5 blade. The difference is the Mulkey is more of a Cascade blade and the Hildebrandt is a Colorado blade. Now, you know, what's that do for you difference wise? Well, the Colorado style blade is going to rotate much closer to the wire, so it's going to give you a little bit different of a look as far as a side profile and you know, a little bit of vibration. And the Mulkey blade is going to stay out a little wider from the spinner body itself, and so it's going to get a better side profile. Oh, fish right here. Yep, get it, Dan. That's a spinfish fish. Grab it. Yep, go ahead. Just pick it up. He's on there. He's on there.
Oh, there you go.
Welcome back to the Buoy 10 Fall Salmon Fishery. I'm Justin Wolf. So far, most of our bites have come on spinners, but now Dan McDonald is fighting a salmon that took a spinfish.
I love it. You might have to.
I like to look at the boat.
You get to that weight, nice and do that.
Yeah.
That is a giant hatchery coho. That's a big hatchery coho. Nice fish, bonus fish. That fish is going to eat really well. That was on that 2.5 spin fish I was talking about earlier. Look at that. That's a dandy hatchery coho. Beautiful hatchery coho. It's what you call a bonus fish, right? Hatchery, good size, going to be a great eating fish. So we'll toss that in the box for the rest of his buddies and see if we can't continue our little journey here. So like I was saying before we got really interrupted by that coho, we're using two different styles of blades here. This is a Cascade style, which is a Mulkey 3.5, and this is a Colorado, which is a Hildebrandt 3.5. And this Colorado blade is going to stay much closer to the wire as it rotates around, right? And also give off a different vibration than the Cascade blade. The Cascade blade is going to flare out a little bit more from the wire, which gives you a better like side profile for the fish. So always good to have more tools in your toolbox, right? And just kind of let the fish tell you what they want. And so far today, we've gotten a pretty good result on both blades. So good to have them both out, two different presentations working for the same goal. Inside the spinfish, you can see here I got a little mixture of tuna, and what's inside this one is Jason said it's got some garlic, it's got some monster bite, and some bloody tuna. Is that correct, Jay? Yeah, then bloody tuna. And you know, those are pretty much a deadly combo anywhere you go. That's part of my daily recipe. So we're gonna put this thing right back out. Oh, right there, fish.
Good job. Chris, get that. You have it.
It's still there. Just reel. Give me that net, Dan.
Oh,
Reeling.
little guy.
Yeah, I think it's another coho. Another coho. Lift out. Give me some line. Yeah. Oh no, it's a wild one. Didn't look like it had a fin, but it had a fin. But he went back happy. So.
Kind of coming out of the incoming tide. Well, it's still coming in, but it's slowing up a little. So we came up here to troll this little trench here, 30-foot line above the bridge. A lot of times when the tide starts slowing down, this can be a pretty good bite right through here for a little bit.
You'll get it. Keep reeling. Woo!
All right. Ooh, wasn't ready for that.
Holy
Got a little keeper Chinook. Toss that one in the box. And we got one more to go. We're done.
Make it look bigger.
You know, fishing this year has been really good. Since the opener, it's been good. Just like any other year, you know, you have a couple of tides that are a little different and not ideal for the beginning of the season, but overall, it's been a good season. And I've noticed the grade of fish has been better. You know, we're catching a lot more of those 15 to 20, 25, even a few 30-pounders than, you know, those cookie cutter 8-pounders. So overall, it's a great season. It's only half over, so we still got, 2.5 weeks left of solid fishing.
Well, we got one Chinook out of here and lost another one, and we only need one more to go. So we're going to run over and try on the Oregon side over by the ships. That's been really good on the beginning of the outgo. So we'll go give it a whirl.
Yeah, that's good. Let me get it, Jay.
Watch that lead, Dan. Yeah. Pull that out, please. It's real. Real.
Lift. You gotta watch that lead, dude. Lift.
Oh, we've been running at about 35 feet on the depth finder. We're in deeper water right now, and we noticed the people were just something different. So we basically went down to the bottom and reeled up three cranks. So this spinner was running real close to the bottom. This nice big fat Chinook just took it and hammered it, and we just landed it.
So Jared got a call from one of his guide buddies. We were fishing suspended on most of the rods, and because we were marking fish there, but one of his guide buddies said that they were getting every one of them over here on the deck. So we dropped them all down, and lo and behold, we got bit about 5 minutes later, and then landed another one about 10 minutes later. So it was the right move, and we appreciate that.